Okay, so it is August 28th, 2015. Time for my daily soul cleansing slash verbal release. You know, these are kind of helping because I can say things to the camera that, you know, if other people see it, fine. If they don't, at least it gets it out. And, you know, whatever. I used to keep a journal, but, you know, my hand cramps up and shit, so I find this very therapeutic, actually. Today was a pretty good day. I went out with my stepmother for lunch, and then we did some shopping, and I did find a couple of shirts that I'm pretty happy with. It's one of them's a kid's shirt, but I look good in it, so at least there's that. I got a new hat. That was kind of cool. Okay, so living with HIV. That's sort of what it's actually, the whole shirt thing is because of the freaking virus, because, you know, I lost all that weight. I already had to buy one wardrobe. I went through this the other day, but I did have to buy one wardrobe because I had lost so much weight, and then now I'm losing even more. And while this is partly my fault, if you were fault, you know, working out and stuff, so it has trimmed me down. I'm maintaining my weight. It's my size that's changing. So I'm fine with that. Tomorrow, though, is my birthday. And I've been talking about how I'm gonna go out and, like, celebrate my birthday and all this. And you know, I've got some people that I do know, and my family, I've kind of admitted to my family now, and I don't see why it was such a surprise to them when I think anybody that would look at my life that knows me would know I'm not exactly the happiest person, but I hate where I live, and I'm admitting that to my family now, and they're starting to see that I really just truly am not happy here. And I think what it comes down to is I'm trapped. I'm trapped with, in so many ways, but I'm trapped with the HIV. And I mean that in a sense of not that I have it or I will have it or whatever. But okay, I, in my past, was the type of person that, whether for good or bad, was known to just take off at a moment's notice and not come back for a month, and people be like, well, where were you? And now I can't do that because I'm a slave to that cupboard, that very cupboard, right? That one. That's where I keep my medicine. Now, it's only one pill a day, which I love. I mean, it's not, you know, it's... But it's paid for by Medicaid because I don't work right now. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm trying. I want so much, and it seems like there's roadblocks for everything I do. Okay, that one example. And this is a direct result of actually having HIV, is I was looking for a third shift position because I will be able to use the car on third shift because Jeremy's planning on quitting or whatever, you know. So I did some searching, and I've got some janitorial service in my background, and that becomes important in just a second. Well, I looked online and I found a third shift janitorial position that I thought, oh my god, that sounds incredibly cool. That sounds like a job what it turned out to be, it was a third shift janitorial position at the aquarium downtown, which I thought would be awesome. You know, you work at an aquarium. I mean, that would just be cool. But I fit every single qualification except the very last thing. The very last thing on the requirements was that you be immunocompetent, I think is what they put. Basically, you can't have a compromised immune system at all because I guess fish are dirty and you might. So, I mean, HIV is the direct cause of me not even attempting to apply for this job that I really did. I thought that sounds fucking kick ass. So that's what HIV does. HIV, it used to lead to a very painful and prolonged death. Now it just leads to a very painful and prolonged life. That's what I've discovered. And it's a lonely life. And I'm actually I know it's not good, but my mind, the way my mind has always worked is I'm not very good at life. So if I get an idea, even though I know it's not a good idea, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And one thing that I've been thinking about is like putting an ad up in, like, okay, see, I live in Ohio, and there's just not that many of us. Okay, there's not that many HIV people, but let alone just people. And what I've been thinking about is I want to put an ad up that's like, hey, you know, I'm stuck in hell, and, you know, if I lived in a city, it wouldn't matter that I didn't have a car, because I could go out and I could ride the bus, or I could walk, or I could do whatever and get a job. And I can't do that here. It's just to get out of the neighborhood, it's a mile and a half. And that's, let alone, there's no, you know, it's not a mile and a half to a job, it's just a mile and a half out. Well, I've really been thinking I need to put an ad up that's like, hey, you know, you want to host me and help me get on my feet, you know? Almost like a whore, but not so. And I'm not gonna do that, or, I don't know. I'm just desperate. And so alone. I'm talking to a camera. Because I have no one else to talk to. HIV. That's what it all boils down to. I used to be able to run away. I used to be able to do a lot of things. There's a lot that I can do now, or am doing now, that, you know, I mean, I am going to start school. I'm kind of hoping that when I start school, that'll at least cover some of the loneliness and the emptiness, but is it so wrong to not want to be alone? And if it is wrong, then why do we feel that? And if it's not wrong, then why is it so hard? Sorry. It's my new hat. It's a, I saw it. I actually got it because, I went to the dressing room and, or the fitting room, or whatever you call it. I call it dressing room. I guess it's a fitting room. I don't know. They had a mirror. You walked in and there was a mirror, but then there was also a mirror back here, and it was angled in such a way that when I was in there, I realized, see, I've been losing my hair for years, And I've accepted that. That's why I've got that stupid little, see, that's about all I can do with my hair. See how thin it is? But see, it's kind of a natural mohawk. But you could see in the mirror back here, and where there used to just be a little bit of a circle, you know, of missing hair, now there's more spots where there's no hair than there is spots where there's hair. So I was in the store and I was like, okay, I cannot keep walking around like this. So I was in the kids section looking for shirts, but I had seen this hat and I was like, oh, that hat's cool. And they had a hat in the adult section, but it was more expensive and I didn't really like it. It was bigger. This hat is small. I've got several hats that are just way too big for me now. I mean, I put the hat on and they're the biggest thing on me. I mean, I guess this kind of looks big too, but it's not as big. That's the thing with HIV, is it does so many things to you that you're just like, I'm not saying it's all bad, because it's not. But it's not 50-50 either. So, here I am, alone, like usual, talking to a camera, waiting for tomorrow so that I can go out to the bar, which I don't really like because I don't drink. I don't know anybody that, I mean, I know a couple people, and, you know, it was cool. Last night when I was making my other video, the one before this, yesterday's video, I guess this guy that I really do like, he's cute, and I like his personality. He had texted me. I hadn't talked to him in a couple months, and he texted me, and he's like, what the hell's going on, man? And I was like, dude, I was sick. I had pneumonia. You know, I'm trying to get in school. I'm doing this. Well, I'm in school now, but I said, I'm getting ready for school. You know, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, but I'm going to be out on Saturday if you want to come see me. And he's like, yeah, you know, but as long as you realize you're going to get your birthday spankings and I'm going to wrestle you back to my place. And I was like, well, then happy birthday to me. So, you know, it's, but even then, it's, sex is one thing. I can get sex. I'm sorry. I mean, I know I'm not like God's gift to mankind, but I'm a lot better looking than I used to be. And I know that may sound cocky, but it's true enough that I can say it, you know. But while that's nice, I want something deeper. I mean, it's funny, I broke up with Jeremy back in, like, what, April, I think, May, maybe. And I had used the excuse that we didn't have sex, which was true. But for me, we have been so apart for so long that on my end, I was pretty much done with a relationship for what's going on 2 to 2.5 years now. So I mean, you know, I'm 2.5 years out. Even though on paper we were still together, emotionally I have been so alone for so long that I don't want to be alone. I'm so tired of being alone. And I was alone before HIV, but it's almost like that kind of put up a wall inside me that, whereas before I was alone, and now it's like, I don't know, I can't explain it. Everybody else that I've met with HIV has that wall built up too, to where even though they don't want to be alone, they don't want to open themselves up. And it's like, really? If we're all alone, why can't we be alone together?